Want to talk about an issue that really matters to a lot of us here in DFW, mortgage refinancing surging 35% in 1 week as interest rates hit lowest level in over a year. And Eason Maykus with Maykus Homes here in DFW joins us this morning to talk about this. Eason, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Clayton.
So what does that mean? Mortgage refinancing surging 35% in 1 week. Break that down for us. Dumb it down if you can.
No, I will. Absolutely. The 35%, I think, is more of a national statistic. What we're seeing here locally, after talking with a couple of mortgage bankers actually as early this morning, they are seeing a slight uptick. Applications have come in for refis, 4 to 5 in the last week, which is an uptick. So that is a good sign. There's a lot of other factors that go into that, but certainly I believe this is the beginning of a wave that is a good thing for the buyer's market, especially in DFW when we've seen these skyrocketing home prices and things like that.
And you're a third-generation home builder here in Texas. Would we be able to handle a boom of people trying to find homes here in North Texas with the interest rates going down?
Absolutely. Statistically, we have a housing shortage in this area. This is going to be a self-serving comment. We are obviously in the new construction. We are a developer and home builder, so we provide both lots and homes for other builders as well. Right now, I believe with the home prices being at what they're at, I do believe with the resurgence in refis, but also in construction lending, if somebody wanted to buy a new house, right now is a really good time to get in with an interim construction loan, which may be kind of on the beginning trend of going downwards. And by the time that home is built, so you're building a new construction custom home, and by the time you close into a permanent loan, whether that's a 5-1, a 7-1, or a 30-year fixed, the rates are projected to go down. So that is a positive for a potential home buyer or somebody looking to relocate to DFW.
Yeah, absolutely. Eason Maykus is with us this morning, Maykus Homes. We're talking about mortgage refinancing surging 35% in 1 week. That's a national figure, but we are seeing some good trends here. And I'm just wondering if there's a delay at all for it takes, for trends to actually catch up with the market for us to really start to see this, because we're starting to see the numbers now. So how long will it be until we really see a boom?
I believe people are, digesting this news. I believe it's a humongous decision for a family, and it's not something that you're going to make overnight. Even with the technology and a lot of these things, you can go online and put in an application. It is a big decision, and it does take time. So I do believe there's a natural delay in that, and I also believe we are not at the bottom of this potential rate stack and this downward trend, so people might be looking to see what it does, and that may be a wise decision. So even though it's not a bad thing to get out ahead of it, I also don't think it's a bad thing to be waiting. So just keep your eyes and ears open and be watching the news and watching the markets and watching the rates and kind of go from there. So I do believe we're at the beginning, and hopefully we see more.
And as a home builder, I'm curious if you've noticed the needs of what people need from a home have changed over the last few years. I know we've had an influx of people come to North Texas since COVID, and I'm curious if people are looking for single-family homes. Is it single people looking for homes? What's changed with the home building process?
That is a great question. The homes in the areas that we work in, primarily in Northeast Tarrant County, so we have a shortage of land. Also, that land that is available is very pricey. So naturally, you're starting out with the cost of dirt being higher than what people are expecting. And then buyers also see that, and they're holding out depending on how old they are. But the trend that you asked about, we're seeing trends in better design from home construction with open concepts. And where you would see a 5-bedroom house used to be 5,000-6,000 square foot, we can fit a family of 4 or a family of 5 into a 3,500 to 3,800 square foot house very comfortably, plenty of space. Kids have their own bathrooms, closets, or empty nesters that want to stay close because they have a generation of younger family, grandkids or whatever. And this is also the relo. It trends towards that smaller square footage, smaller lot sizes, which also does not dictate quality. People a lot of times think they want that 1 acre, but when you're moving to a mature city or a mature area like DFW proper, A lot of the lots that you're going to see in new construction are going to be more intimate in size, which you can still have pools, dogs, kids, playscapes, etc. And then also from a square footage perspective, typically it's smaller, which also skews the numbers on that price per foot, which is kind of deceiving. So if you build a larger house, obviously your price per foot is going to be lower. If you build a smaller house in a more modest square foot range, those numbers are going to be skewed, and people need to understand that. But that does not mean that it's overpriced. That does not mean that a smaller home with a smaller square footage is going to be lesser quality. And a lot of times it translates into higher quality with nicer finishes, nicer fencing, nicer landscape, nicer exterior materials. And we're proud to provide that to whether they're relocation buyers or, second generation or first-time home buyers.
Hey, we'll take the news. Certainly any good news regarding the real estate market is something that we are looking forward to and celebrating here in North Texas, just especially with the way that it's been. Eason Maykus, Maykus Homes, thank you so much for jumping on DFW's Morning News.
Thanks for having me.